Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm going to be going through all 12 of my rank 5 champions and explaining why I chose them to be my rank 5s. Also I'm going to be doing it in order from my oldest rank 5 champion to the ones I picked out more recently, because I think that also gives like a lot of context in terms of how time has passed, how the rank ups hold on, and basically what is my thought process throughout. So as for many people of the community, my first rank 5 champion was Blade, because at the time Blade was dominating absolutely everything and he had high prestige. I got him super early as soon as his featured 5-star crystals appeared, and that pretty much seemed like an obvious choice. He was literally like a god for 95% of the content that was out there. He could do alliance wars, alliance quests, majority of the quests, labyrinth, pretty much everything. He essentially shaped and destroyed so many defenders, and people had to adjust entire defense setups just because of this guy. He's still extremely useful and he's still one of the upper tier champions in the game, although Kabam has been kind of like chipping away at him slowly but surely by releasing champions he isn't too useful against and creating more and more nodes he can't counter. However, there's still so much he can do, and even though I don't use him as much as I used to, he's still definitely a great rank 5 to have in your team. So definitely absolutely no regrets over there. So then we're going to go to my second rank 5 champion, and that was Magic. Magic was largely aimed for Alliance War because she at the rank 5 was and still is one of the more effective boss killers, and she's still extremely relevant for many nodes in Alliance War, especially node 29 and her ability to take down Killmonger consistently and effectively. She's still great against many bosses, and overall she's like the original champion that has survived the test of time the best. She's one of the first champions in the game, and she did receive an buff many years ago. I think she got buffed about 3 years ago, but that buff made her so useful and so relevant. She was absolutely a nightmare defender for ages before Blade showed up and many of our newer champions. However, despite all that, she's still incredibly great attacker and one of the best power control champions. She is still right now one of my most favorite rank 5s and one of the rank 5s I rely on most, clearing majority of the content. She still sees a lot of play in Alliance War, and I'm definitely satisfied with having Magic as one of my rank 5s. So my third rank 5 was Medusa. Third rank 5 was already time we started thinking about Alliance War defense. Now Medusa is absolutely great champion because of her damage output potential, and she's useful in attack still. We use her in Alliance War attack in our team as well, and she's still a solid defender, and that is exactly why I ranked her up initially. I needed to have a rank 5 defender, and we kind of were going through the list of what champions I have, what champions we need for our battle group, and this was kind of like, after discussing with my team, with my officers, the best champion we could find for my account to rank up, because our BG needed a rank 5 Medusa. And I was perfectly happy ranking her up as well, because I knew she is a solid champ all around, and she has come in handy so many times, especially while dealing with robots. The ability to completely shut off their power and abilities is still extremely useful even in Act 6.1. She was obviously a great help in Variant Chapter 3 as well, and she's definitely a solid option. So those were my first 3. After that, time came for Corvus. Essentially, that straight after I ranked my Medusa, Corvus became popular, and it just seemed that he can do anything. So as soon as he became popular, I got my Corvus unduped at the time, but his featured Grandmasters were coming around, so we spent some, we managed to dupe him, and he pretty much immediately went up to rank 5. I'm still absolutely very much in love with my Corvus. He's absolute AQ god right now. In map 7 he saves everybody so much trouble, and he's just overall a great champion to have. He makes every uncollected event so quick and easy. Like, it pretty much feels like you're playing in heroic. He's extremely compatible with suicides, and lately I like to keep my suicides on for more and more time. So, and well, essentially he's one of the reasons why I like to keep my suicides on, because he gets so much better with suicides. However, with Corvus, he's one of those champions that he's gonna be as good as well you treat him, because he's one of those guys that does require a bit of setup, some boosts, the suicide masteries, and the value you're gonna get out of your Corvus is directly proportional to the amount of kind of effort and attention you give to your Corvus. You need to keep on top of those cosmic power boosts often for harder content for Alliance Wars. You need to boost up. You need to have the suicide unlocked. Obviously, his ability to have True Strike also requires Proxima Synergy, so that's something to keep in mind. But all in all, even by himself, without any synergies, he's still extremely solid champ. So after Corvus, it was our 5th and 6th rank ups, which I pretty much did in the same day, and those rank ups were more or less decided by our alliance kind of strengthening our defense, because NY has one of the toughest defenses, and one of the reasons for that is that we are coordinating our rank ups. So with having Corvus Blade, Magic and Medusa as my rank 5s, I needed something that is high prestige and that works for defense. So there came the Sabertooth, and Sabertooth has extremely high prestige, that's still super useful. He's a good defender that can often get kills. He still gets kills fairly frequently, even in our tier 1 wars. He has really aggressive moveset and he covers a lot of space, and it's one of those champions that kind of easy to trip up against. And not to mention that there was a famous Sabertooth trap on node 5 for many Corvus users. So when you have maxed out 5-star Sabertooth and people like to get the missions early and people were jumping in, and Sabertooth often got so many kills on node 5. But even now that though that's gone and done, he still has several nodes in AW where he is a threat and he gets kills regularly. And yeah, once again, his prestige is awesome. What Sabertooth also has got going for him, he fits in synergy teams perfectly with Omega Red and Void and Killmonger, and they kind of like all together form extremely solid, useful synergy team when you're going for questing or wars. And one of the most notable things is through synergies with, I think it's Killmonger. One second, yes. Through synergy with either of the Black Panthers or Killmonger, he essentially can bypass masochism, and that is also a useful thing to have for him. So overall, extremely solid champion. For me, I'm gonna be absolutely honest, he mainly sits on defense, but I'm still happy to have him. He has his endgame uses, and he might be a bit more of a niche champion than overall all-rounder, but I definitely do like having him. And the next champion I ranked up for defense was Sentinel. Yet again, another champion who has solid prestige and a decent spot in defense. However, having Corvus flying all around AW does kind of hinder his potential on Alliance War defense, but he is extremely tanky character that can often force mistakes. I think the worst thing that happened to Sentinel as a defender was the AQ update for Alliance quest maps 5 and under. So people who constantly play those maps have gotten used to his moveset. However, yet again, he's one of those champions that's not gonna get kill every war, but still Sentinels do manage to get some kills in fairly frequently. And that's also kind of the point of having these maybe not the top defenders, because when you play in your battle group, we all would love to rank up the Thing or the Korg or whatever is the best defender at the time, but diversity is a thing, and we all need to make sure we have as many rank 5s for defense as possible that are still decent and good defenders. So that was essentially Sentinel for me. Ever since I ranked him up though, he has proven himself to be more and more useful actually in questing. He has double immunities going for him. Once he builds up his charges, he can hit like a truck. He can, if the fights are longer, he can regen a lot. He has extremely accessible armor break and heal block, shock and incinerate, and he just packs quite a bit of utility. I think he is currently one of the, if not the best robot champs in the game, and he's definitely seeing more and more play. He's really useful in Act 6, and just in general he's extremely useful guy to have, and yeah, one of the better robots. So after I was done with those, now I just need to remember which ones came next. Yes, the next one was Hyperion. Hyperion was a rank up from my variant gem, because then we got like a random class gem and I happened to pull Cosmic. I already had Medusa and Corvus as my rank 5s, so I wasn't left with too much of a choice, and Hyperion pretty much seemed like the obvious choice. I could have ranked like Proxima or Phoenix at the time, but that was before IQ got updated. I didn't really care for prestige that much, and I was already 10.3k or something, 10.350 I think. So that was solid enough for the time, and Hyperion is like a decent diversity defender. He's absolutely great for quests, runs decently with suicides, and he's amazing for map 7, and he's just again one of those champions that is becoming more and more kind of like actual, with the nodes like Caustic Temper and with buffed up nodes and many other things. So I'm definitely glad I took my Hyperion up, even though at the time I was not his biggest fan. Ever since I took him to rank 5, I am definitely happy I have him as one of my rank 5s. And after Hyperion, I just need to have a quick thought. After Hyperion came Quake, because that was about the time I had been practicing quite a bit with Quake. She got more and more useful with the release of newer champions that she countered perfectly, and it was also the time her full-on evade heavy dexterity style became popular, which made her a lot more viable against stun immune opponents, against limber, against kinetic reactor, and she just got like a whole new wave of utility. So before I ranked her to rank 5, I did put in a lot of practice to make sure I can use her well, and I'm thinking I'm gonna say that currently she's my favorite champion in my roster. It used to be Magic and Corvus and they were battling neck to neck, but now, since like a month ago or a few weeks ago, I think Quake has stolen my heart and has stolen the spot for my favorite rank 5 champion. The good thing about Quake is, even though she has high prestige, she does not rely on her signature ability as well at all whatsoever. So if you're not gunning for prestige, you can just leave her at low sig, let her be, and she's still going to do exactly the same thing. So after Quake, we needed to finish off our defense, because at that point we had like 4 rank 5 defenders and one was kind of like a rank 4 add-in. Also, it just so happened that the guy in my alliance who used to be placing MODOK retired, and I pretty much volunteered to rank up MODOK just to kind of like have my mind at ease, finish up my defense, just so I know myself that I'm going to be done and over with it. So I did rank up MODOK. MODOK is one of those champions, and I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, I don't like too much. I don't like playing with him. I just hate the way he looks. He's a big bubble head, and no, it's a no-no for me. But it was a rank up for Alliance for defense. We needed him. Some good things I can say about MODOK is that his level 1 is seeing increase in utility. There is actually a lot of potential in that level 1. We have seen MODOK absolutely troll aggression regeneration nodes to the point where you let the aggression regeneration build up extremely high, like several dozen stacks, then shoot your level 1, and that instant health gain he gets from, health heal reversal he gets from level 1 is gonna essentially destroy the opponent immediately. Also, another neat party trick MODOK has is that he can absolutely troll all strike back nodes, which is extremely fun. And as we know, there is a strike back node on AW mini boss on node 30, and we often see champions like Domino and Killmonger over there and stuff like that. And MODOK is actually a really viable and good option for all of those nodes, because every time he's going to be shooting his level 1, not only the opponents won't gain into power, they're going to lose a bar of power. So you can pretty much just stroll through the entire fight just by spamming your level 1 and not be worried about anything. But yeah, that's about MODOK. I can honestly say he's definitely not on top of my favorite list, but it is what it is. So after MODOK, that put us to 10, and our 11th rank 5 was Ghost. We did rank up Ghost fairly recently. We took her up with a check rank 4 to 5 5-star gem, which we got after finishing Act 6 Chapter 1 via that 12,000 unit offer. I got a tech gem and I had a choice basically between Stark Spider-Man, OG Vision or Ghost. And the reason why I went for Ghost is essentially her semi-immunities. I'm not all that great at Ghost. I know she's an absolutely godly character. I'm still learning to play her. So I have been slightly starting to increase the amount I use my Ghost, but regardless of all that, I still decided that it is worthwhile investment to rank her up, mainly because of the fact that she is essentially immune to all the damaging debuffs. So she's shock immune, she's incinerate immune, and I just felt that I needed that kind of utility in my rank 5 roster more so than anything. And so we ranked up Ghost, and we're still working on getting better with her. And the last rank up I had is Omega Red, because I find him to be extremely fun and useful champion. I definitely like the fact that he's poison immune and that he can heal off bleed. He makes some matchups that were not my favorite or favorable ones a lot easier, and he was that kind of like next step in building up the utility of my rank 5s that I wanted to take. I also had enough stones to immediately take him to Sig 200, so I felt that I can unlock the full potential of this guy. And not to mention that Omega Red is one of those champions that really benefits from higher rank and higher signature. So it felt logical to rank him up. And that pretty much concludes my 12 rank 5s. And for the last bit, we're just gonna discuss a champion that I'm planning to have as probably one of my last rank 5 5-stars ever. Because after that, I'm gonna be focusing on my 6 stars. But the last rank 5 5-stars that I do want to take up and that we have a gem for is Captain America Infinity War. I have said in the past that I absolutely love the amount of utility he provides. I love that you can fine-tune him according to what you need. Unfortunately, due to the fact that I'm pretty much doing Path 5 in Alliance War, currently he wouldn't see much of an Alliance War play. But I think overall, for questing and for future purposes, all the utility and damage and sturdiness that this character combines, I definitely love it, and it's something I want to have going forward. I have been doing a lot of 4-star videos, and whenever I'm doing that, Captain America Infinity War is pretty much always on my team, just because of the fact that he's so sturdy, he's reliable when he's on max sig, he has great damage, and he can kind of like deal with a lot of issues. And that pretty much concludes the main topics of this video. If you guys want I will make a follow-up about my rank 4 champions that I have not taken to rank 5, and I can explain my reasons as to why. I know many people have their OG Visions ranked up, their Voids ranked up, and so on and so forth. I have champions that are at rank 3 that many people like to rank up. And if you're interested in seeing second part in my reasonings why I'm not taking certain champions up to rank 5 when I chose the ones that I already have, then that's something I can definitely make for you guys. Aside from that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I gave you slight bit of insight of why and what I have ranked on my account. And yes, if you did enjoy it, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. But aside from that, I'm gonna see you guys next time.